Hello, in this presentation I'm going to talk about the WordPress 2015 theme and using a child theme to add your own design on top of this theme. So I suppose the first thing we need to understand is, what is a child theme? Well, a child theme is a sub-theme into which you can put a design. But the basic rules of the child theme are: you follow the content and the controls of the parent theme unless I tell you otherwise. So a child theme gives you the opportunity to make changes to a parent theme, in this case the 2015 theme, and those are kept in a separate file to the main 2015 theme. This is a much better way of adding your own styles and your own views and looks to a theme than editing the original, because if the creator of the original theme is worth anything, they will be bringing in updates. Some will be to add new features, others will be to update the theme when needed because of changes in the core WordPress. So if you make changes to a core WordPress theme, the parent theme, and they then make some updates, your changes are going to disappear and you're going to have to put them in again, or pay somebody to put them in again. And therefore, if you have the changes in a child theme, you don't have to worry when an update happens, because your changes are still there. Granted, there may be some change or some new feature which you'll want to take advantage of, but at least your changes are not lost. So we need to make a child theme, and I'll give you a warning here now. You don't need to be that good at programming to use child themes. In fact, you can use a child theme in as much complexity and depth as you have skill to use it. And if you get it wrong, you haven't broken the original theme that your theme is based on, and therefore you can always go back to the original and you haven't lost out. Okay, I expect that makes sense to some people and not a lot of sense to others. But if I show you how a child theme works with 2015, then you'll probably appreciate how easy it is to get started. And after that, you are welcome to just play. Of course, if you are going to play, don't use your main site, set up a test account, or run it locally on another machine. So, before you get too excited, I do have to warn you that not all themes have been designed properly, and not all themes support the child theme concept. The ones that do usually tell you, and you can assume quite openly, that all the major themes from WordPress, the 2010, 11, 12, 13, 14 themes, all support child themes very well. In fact, 2012 is used a heck of a lot as a source for designing themes which have child theme support. So for the 2015 theme, you need to create just 2 files. That's the minimum you can get away with, and doesn't matter what editor you use as long as you are able to edit code. This happens to be Dreamweaver, but there are 2 files you need: a style.css file and a functions.php file. That's all you need to create a child theme, and you put them into their own directory in the themes directory where your 2015 theme is sitting. You need to create a separate directory for your child theme, or folder if you like to call it, and this is all you need to add. And I will be putting the links for this code. It's this section here. This section here gives the name of the theme, gives you the URL where the theme is, which is not totally relevant, description so you know what it's called, who wrote it, where they are. This is important, the template. So this tells WordPress the parent theme is the 2015 theme. Version number again is not totally important. License is important only from the point of view of putting the proper license, and the tags I've just copied from the original theme. And then the text domain again needs to be a unique number. Don't worry about the comments below for now. We don't need them to worry us at this section. You then need a functions.php. Now this is a PHP, this is a programming language part of the system, and this is where a lot of people are going to feel very out of their depth. But let me tell you that it's very easy to do a lot of PHP programming without actually understanding PHP programming to a great degree, because you can cut and paste examples from other people around the web. For using this simple theme, we only need this as a minimum, this bit of code here. And what this bit of code here actually does is it tells WordPress that we'd like you to use the style sheet from the original parent theme and our style sheet as well. That's all it's going to do. It's going to tell us that we're going to need the style sheet from the parent theme. So we are not writing all the styles from scratch. We will just then write the exceptions, and the exceptions will be in the other file, the style.css file. So there we have a simple child theme. In fact, it's so simple it actually does absolutely nothing but refer back to the original theme. However, as an empty skeleton to start working from, it's a great place to start. I can see what the heck have we been here for? Comments appearing everywhere. So let's go a little bit further. Okay. Now, one of the things I have, let's take the code away because it's a bit scary. One of the big issues I have with this 2015 theme, and I don't have many issues with it really. I love the fact you have the header and you have the menus and you have the second menu that does the social media links, and then we've got a thing below, and that's fantastic. But I'm afraid I spent a lot of time and effort trying to make my logo look good and promote it around the world, and I would prefer to lose this lot and have my own logo, which you in days gone by could do quite easily, because you go into the customize section and you would say I don't need the style, title and headline, so I'd untick that and they'd disappear. 3, 2, 1, they've gone. And then you come down here and you say header image, I want to add a new header image, and you'd add an image and you'd be away. But the problem about this is that if I set the header image, I don't know, to be that for instance, the problem is it's not used like that. It's used as a background to all of this. It's used as a background to the sidebar. So this will not work. Can't do it. So I thought, well, that's fine, because in my widgets I have added a new widget which allows me to put images in the sidebar. It's called the sidebar image widget, and it came from here. This works well. I believe others are available, but I like this image widget from WordPress, so I've downloaded that and I've added it to my WordPress installation, installed it as a plugin, and it means when I go to widgets I can add a widget, and it should be here somewhere. Image widget, there it is, right under my nose. And so then I can select an image, and I've got various versions of my logo up here, which you'll see in a minute. No, I don't want that one. And there it is, looking a bit distorted. I don't want the head, any title, I just want the image. Thanks very much. If I go into the bottom and leave it a chance, there we are, it's gone in now. And there's my image. Fantastic. Except it's not up here. Because on the 2015 theme, the rules are this top area here is for the header. Then we have the main menu. Then we have the social media menu. And then we have our widget area below, which starts with the search, and then I put the logo in. What I really want is this logo up the top, up here. So to do that, I've actually created another child theme. And I'm going to scare you by showing you the code first. So here is my code, and we have the style.css where I've changed the layout of the site header slightly, as I'll show you why in a second. My header is a lot of code, but this is actually the header.php file which I've taken from the original 2015 theme. So by taking this header file and putting it in my child theme, I am now telling WordPress that I have my own header.php file and I want that header.php file to be used. If it wasn't there, whenever header.php was needed, it would go to the parent theme, the original 2015 parent theme. But because I've made my own version of header.php, this now takes precedence. Now, I've just taken the code, and all I've done is added that bit of code there. And that bit of code introduces a second widget area. But I've made sure that it's in the position that it's above the menus. In fact, you can see the menu code. Sorry, not the menu code. The name of the file and the title. Now you can see the title information there. Can you see that? Site title. Site title. So that's the heading and then the comment underneath. So I've inserted my widget area above that code. Now I happen to be quite a proficient PHP programmer, but I can tell you I didn't write any code to do this because I just did a few searches on the internet until I found one that I thought made sense and gave it a go. So that piece of code there says insert a new widget area for me. However, you have to also create the widget area, so in the functions.php I have a piece of code here which actually defines two widget areas, one of which I'm playing with to have a top bar, which we don't actually need for this example. We only need this sidebar. So that bit of code there says creates the content and adds the sidebar widget to the system. Now what I found was that when I did this, I then wanted to add the widget area because I wanted to have a bit of flexibility. So what we'll do now is we'll go back to the file. That's because I didn't save the new layout, did I? Okay, so we're going to go to we're in themes and we're going to say we want version 2, R2. R2 is the extra widget area. So we'll activate that code. So we are now using that child theme on top of WordPress 2015 instead of R1, R2. Okay. So if we go to the widget areas, we will now find that we've got two widgets. we've got a top sidebar, a top bar and a sidebar. Okay, and if we go to the customize, because this wonderful new 2015 and version 4.1 of WordPress allows us to play with it in this area, you can see, look, there's my logo up there, because I have two widget areas now defined, and because I played with this earlier, it's already put it in for me. I have the widget area for below, so let's add an archives list below. Okay, so there's our archives below. There's our headings there above. We go back to the site title. We can turn off site title, and then we have the logo at the top. Because if we go back to the widgets, I have a top sidebar, and I've used the image widget to put the image in. Now I've used the image widget to put the image in because it gives me more flexibility of what I might want to put above. So rather than write the code to put the image straight in, I thought it'd be easier to have a widget in there to put the content in. So that image widget, basically you select an image. Alright, now I'll just select the wrong image now for a moment, just to show you one other little issue I found when playing with this. Insert widget. Give it a second. And save and publish. Okay, now that looks the same. But if I now want to play around with the colours, we can have an issue. And the issue is, what happens to the background? And this is the only, sorry, I've hit the wrong button now. This is the only major issue I found when doing this. And that was, I wanted to use a GIF image with a transparent background, because if I have a background here and then I play around with the colours, I can end up with funny conditions. So what I've used is this, which is a GIF with a transparent background. So you see that funny image there? These are just normal PNG files, and therefore I end up with a bad background. Like if I use that one, for instance. You have to give it a second to go in. There it is. And this doesn't look so good because there's a background image there, whereas this one there isn't. Okay, does that make sense? I hope it does. So the only problem I had was this image was out of line, and because it was out of line, that's why I took this command, which is a piece of code in the style sheet, and all I did was move the margin over, because if you don't do that, you ended up with a big gap at the top, which I thought didn't look so good. So if I go and refresh, that gives us our first custom. I don't like those colours. First custom theme. Now if you want to change the colours and you want to play around the colours more in a more complicated way than is available from here, then that's when you would use the style.css. And again, your ability to restyle the site is only limited by your ability to cut and paste, learn, and your ability to use CSS styles. But if you are going to put code in here to change the colours, then I suggest you change the base colour scheme back to default. The reason for that is if you don't use the default color scheme, these colors will be added to the page and they will be acted upon after your style sheet has been acted upon. They will therefore write over anything your style sheet has. So if you are going to play around with the colors, I suggest you start with the basic default style sheet theme to start with. And if you do want to play around and find out how things are styled, I'll give you one little trick which I use all the time. If I go over an element like this heading and I right click, I would choose Inspect Element. Now this is a Firefox browser, so it has Firebug with it, but the concept works on Google Chrome very nicely and Internet Explorer not so well. This has opened up the box below for me. The important thing about this box below is it tells me, see if I move my mouse around on the different sections, see the highlights changing. This tells me over the right hand side here what has been done. So if I go into a page, it carries on following me around and it will show me what goes into, that's because we're in there, won't we, John? So if we go into a page, we didn't want to go to Google, we wanted to go to a page. So let's go to this page. And we want to know what the style of this is. We just go right click and Inspect Element. And it now tells me we're in H1 class, and on the right hand side it will tell you all the style commands that are being used to make that up. And if you want to go down a bit or up a bit, in other words further deeper into the class or to the next level above, see the header entry, you can move around these, and every time I click on it we get the commands saying what the style is. And if we are really mad, we can actually type style commands in here to change them as well. So we can play with our styles live. But I won't go into that in more detail in this video. Otherwise, we'll be dealing with too many issues in one video. So I will look into that again later for you, and then I can just close it. Okay, so there we have two child themes for the 2015 theme. The first one does absolutely nothing, but it gives you a starting point you can start playing with. And the second one adds this widget area at the top, which I then used the image widget to put an image into that widget area. And I'll then forget which web page I was on. And that then gave me a logo at the top of my site. As I said, I'll put the links below as soon as I've uploaded everything, but thank you very much. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to my channel, join our mailing list, and keep up to date with everything else we produce. Thank you.